So I spent the weekend at PAX in Boston. I spent my time filming the event and hanging out with some people. There's always a lot of indie games at PAX, but this year there were so many more indie games than usual, and the developers are right there next to the games to answer any questions that you have while you're playing them. After playing a whole bunch of the stuff on the floor and talking to the developers, it's pretty clear that all of them want their stuff on the Switch, and Nintendo isn't making it particularly easy for them. I wish I got to play a lot more games than I did. I didn't have a lot of time and they were all pretty mobbed. I did notice that the few games that had the little Nintendo Switch sticker on the demo units had a lot more foot traffic, and that's totally understandable because the Switch is super hype right now. Since the Switch is so hype and there's barely any games on it right now, every dev wants to be on that thing ASAP. At this point, anything that comes out for the Switch will be big news. I was surprised to find out that Graceful Explosion Machine is coming out to the Switch in just a few weeks. It must have been easy to port to the thing because Nintendo barely sent out any dev kits. It's not unusual for console manufacturers to be very strict about what makes it on their console, especially this early on. The console will inevitably be judged by the games that are on it. Right now, the Switch is closely associated with Zelda, which is a very good thing. Sony has recently been a lot more lenient with indies, but they still never opened the floodgates. They still have an approval process. The PlayStation Vita is known as an indie machine, and why do you think that is? Do you think it's easy to get games on the platform? Or maybe it's because typical indies don't require a lot of technical power, and people prefer games in the most convenient form factor possible. And that's precisely why the Switch is the perfect indie machine. If I could choose to have my game tied to a TV or a portable device, I will pick the portable device 100% of the time. If I had the ability to switch between both, then why wouldn't I just get it on the damn Switch? The only time I can see this being a problem is when graphical fidelity takes a hit on the portable version, but with most indies that's not the case. Graphics will be the same across all platforms. One dev said something interesting to me. Justin, the Katana Zero dev, said maybe now people will stop asking me to put the game on the Vita. I thought that was just an IGN and kind of funny audience thing. I loved my Vita, but it was a terrible choice for indie devs because they put all of this time into porting the game and nobody would buy it because nobody bought the system. It sold very poorly. Nintendo is trying. They were at GDC taking pitches from devs just like everybody else. Nintendo has always set a high bar for themselves, and the Switch is no exception. I'm all for a curated marketplace. I like how Sony does it. There's some good stuff on there. Of course, you get some garbage trophy farming games that slip through the cracks sometimes. But I believe these manufacturers will eventually have to let the floodgates open. Do what Steam did. Create a marketplace for anybody to post their games for a potential chance to be in the mainstream marketplace. Or just create a separate place for indies altogether, like an itch.io app on the console. They would only have to promote the games that they approve of as to not muddy the waters for the layman. Keep it as easy for them to find the good stuff as possible. But the rest of us would love to be able to have all of these games completely unhindered at our disposal. I understand why it's not open yet, but eventually it would be nice to be real wide open. Xbox One and PlayStation 4 for the big, heavy AAA graphical stuff, and the Nintendo Switch for obviously the Nintendo stuff and the small, humble, graphically inferior indie stuff. So what do you guys think about the Nintendo Switch and indie games? Do you think that console manufacturers should open up their platform to just about anybody? Do you think that Nintendo should be curating their content very closely? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter. All this other social media garbage. I was filming a vlog at PAX and not a lot happened. So I kind of made this instead. It's like, what time is it? It's 12:46 at night right now. The video is going to be posted up at 10 a.m. I've also been spending a whole lot of time on a Shoddy Cats video that's going to be going up this week. I'm very excited about that. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Get the little notification thing going. As always, the most important things that you can do is subscribe and share this video with a friend who was at PAX, maybe wants to go to PAX. Maybe this will interest them, convince them to go next year, and book the Westin Hotel early because that's the best fucking hotel to be at. It's right next to the damn thing. Thank you guys very much. Have a good week.